Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for coming. My name is Lluïsa Sheslier, and I have a question for you. Do you believe that there is something like the true national identity, the true Catalan, the real Spaniard? Pick any nationality you like. What are the characteristics that make one the perfect national model? And if you fail to accomplish any of these characteristics, are you not a real Spaniard, Catalan, Italian, German anymore? Let's have a look at the case of the Republic of Ireland, a very ancient European culture, but a fairly recent state. When after many centuries of British occupation, the Irish rose up and created a new independent state, they also restored and celebrated culture which had been suppressed by the British invasion, mainly the hegemonic English. However, due to internal conflicts, a conservative nationalist position reasserted itself, and political parties that upheld this position, together with the Catholic Church, set out to dictate to the newly liberated Irish people what their authentic Irish identity should be like. This rather artificially constructed authentic Irish identity was to be Celtic versus Anglo-Saxon, religious versus secular, and specifically Catholic versus Protestant, rural versus urban, and agrarian versus industrial. Also, as the national agenda gained so much relevance, other social questions were looked over. So this is Roddy Doyle. He's the writer on whom I'm conducting my research, and he's a Dubliner writer, a contemporary Dubliner writer who started publishing in the 1980s and whose work covers the most relevant events in Irish history, starting in the previous century until the present. The focus of his work is mainly the Dublin working class. Now, Doyle's work is not only innovative in that he portrays the working class in texts that are filled with humor, humanity, compassion, and hope, but he has also been celebrated for giving a voice to socially marginalized characters, with, like, for example, an orphan teenager, a woman victim of domestic violence, or victims of sexual abuses by the church. Now, also in his work, sometimes more subtly, sometimes more overtly, he criticizes some of the state institutions that I mentioned earlier, and which, at a decisive moment in national history, dictated what the Irish identity should be like. Now, my thesis argues that by attacking certain pillars of the Irish society, such as religion, economy, or education, Roddy Doyle is essentially subverting this notion of a pure Irish identity, and he's creating a space and reclaiming a voice for a counter-hegemonic Ireland, which is urban, secular, working class, and culturally diverse, and also open to the world. In doing so, he's also reclaiming an identity that the working class create for themselves and refuses to be defined by the normative identity that the state has shaped for them. Okay, so this is it. Thank you very much.